In New York's Manhattan, people gaze upward with worry. Boom. A massive monster falls from the sky, shaking the ground and startling everyone. Everyone's shocked. It's the behemoth. A message window pops up. Please eliminate behemoth before he annihilates the world. Everyone stands firm. If they fail, it's the end of the world. They attack the monster. BattleNet began in 2010, initially just a competition between countries. In 2022, the Space League opened, turning it into a battle for survival against other life forms. Humanity, representing Earth, faced repeated defeats. Now, in 2023, Earth has only 10 countries left, on the verge of extinction. The giant monster attacks humans, using its demonic power to destroy everything. At that moment, a black-haired man, ranked 7th, Marshal Saint Sung JiHan, flies in. The monster uses its demonic power against JiHan. He shields with his left hand, punches with his right, defeating the monster. His left arm is cut, body burned. An alert message appears: you completed the Earth, USA mission. Sung JiHan defeated the monster by himself. Good. Baron, a blonde-haired, Caucasian man, the America First Guild Master, smiles as he looks over the scene. Good job, Baron says shortly. To Baron, JiHan is just a useful hunting dog from Korea, doing his job well. JiHan's badly hurt. Regeneration. The third-ranked saintess, named JiHan, runs toward him, casting healing magic. As time passes, her expression darkens. No, she should have easily healed burn wounds, but the behemoth's burns are severe. JiHan, please endure for a bit. Please. Great heal. Great. The saintess uses healing magic, tears welling up. Baron frowns, seeing her struggle. He looks at the monster's corpse. The behemoth of the apocalypse. Evil energy still emanates from its body. It's hard to endure from here. How did he manage it from such a short distance? Baron finds himself impressed by JiHan, and his eyes begin to shine again. A light emanated from Behemoth's back. That's a boss battle reward. It was a special reward box that rarely appeared after defeating boss monsters, indicated by the same white light he was witnessing. Everyone, back off. Yes. As Baron signaled, the America First members stepped back, eyeing their surroundings. The special reward from the behemoth of the apocalypse was tempting, but they couldn't disobey Baron's orders. Baron selected the saintess and the 4th and 5th ranked members to receive the reward with him. What about JiHan? He isn't American. He's just a hunting dog. Despite JiHan's significant contribution to defeating Behemoth, he was excluded from the reward. He's also American. He was exiled. You should understand what type of American I'm talking about. But JiHan is the one who defeated the behemoth of the apocalypse. Ugh. JiHan, silently listening, smirked. He never expected Baron to share rewards with him in the first place. He spoke. Go. I'm okay now. I'm sorry. I'll be back soon. Okay. Sung JiHan, a refugee who fled his home country, possessed an SSS rank skill and gained the nameless divine arts. Despite climbing to 7th in world rankings, he faced prejudice and racism, unable to be accepted as American. JiHan sat in the car, healing his arm, awaiting the mission results. Dash. The ground shook, and a message window appeared. Space League, Bronze League demotion match result announcement. Unease settled in. Game category, defense. USA, pass. China, pass. Russia, fail. Japan, fail. Only the USA and China succeeded. All others failed. JiHan's expression hardened at the news. This. No. 42-12. Humanity has failed the demotion match. A final demotion match against NO. 47-73. Will be held. The match will take place immediately. The saintess addressed Baron, Master, we need JiHan. In the previous match against the URKS, we were only successful thanks to him. Baron refused, summoning the representative players from each planet. The match will start momentarily. The 4 used Baron's magic to fly onto Behemoth's corpse. 5 human players and 5 URK's monsters, face-to-face fight. for USA players and 1 China player. Baron concerned about having only 5 players to face URK monster dirty pigs. He believes they can't beat these URK monsters without Jihan, thinking of him as just a hunting dog. In the 5-on-5 battle, the losing side would be demoted. Baron attacked the URK monsters using magic swiftly. The Urk party countered Baron perfectly, beheading him and defeating him easily. Others watching the match were shocked. Jihan remained silent, observing the battle. Urk monsters proceeded to kill each player one by one. Human player has died. Finally, the Saints fell to the URK monster axes. The Urk monsters thanked the humans for winning the match, considering them weak. The URK monsters declared their survival. Oh my God. What's going to happen to us? Panic spread among the America First members as a new message window appeared. A shocking revelation echoed. Humanity has been defeated and demoted from the Bronze League. As a worthless race, we will be kicked out of the Space League. Black holes materialized on Earth, and everyone vanished. Darkness enveloped a guild member. Save me. No one was spared. High-ranking or low-ranking, every America First member disappeared within 5 minutes. Deletion of humanity complete. Error detected. There is still a surviving member of humanity. What? Did I survive by myself again? To think that Nameless Divine Arts would be able to resist this. Nameless Divine Arts, the skill that ranked him 7th, saved him. Although nameless, its SSS rank allowed him to withstand system deletion. Regret lingered. If I had uncovered its name, it would have become an even greater skill. The upgrade condition for Nameless Divine Arts was to find its true name, preventing the current situation. I would have been able to stop Korea from collapsing if I had gotten it sooner. Regret consumed Jihan. His body started to be devoured by darkness. The effect of Nameless Divine Arts had a limit. Jihan was about to surrender when. How surprising. Number 4212. Humanity should have been a worthless race. To think someone would be able to resist being erased. Different system messages appeared, colorful and unique. The usual ones are half-transparent and blue. The windows he saw now had various colors mixed in. It's low, but this being has a chance. Yes, no possibility can be overlooked. Let's give him an opportunity to re-challenge. I agree. I disagree. It's a waste of strength. I agree. I agree. 3 votes for, 1 against. The decision is made. Player Sung JiHan is returning to the time of initial entry in the league. The time of initial entry in the league. Jihan's vision darkened. Sung JiHan, now on a sofa in a familiar living room, opened his eyes. This is back in time. His head ached, the scent of alcohol lingering, a hangover. He hadn't felt this in a while, but he didn't mind. I really went back in time. Standing up, he noticed the lavish living room. He was just a freeloader in this house. And he looked at countless whiskey bottles. Oh, yeah. He was back when his life had started to change, turning level 2 and entering the Bronze League for the first time. The room seemed to be in Korea, the familiar building from his previous life. Children played happily outside, pretending with little stick swords. Sung JiHan realized he was truly back in Korea, then checked his status window. Level 2. Name, Sung JiHan. If I use the data from my previous life, I can change the future. Determined to be stronger this time, he glanced at a family photo. I'm going to protect everyone this time. In the year 2020, excitement rippled through Korea as they anticipated fierce competition against China. At that time, Korea stood firm with one of the world's top players, a renowned member of the top 11 and ranked 3rd globally, Saint JiHan, also known as Sword King. Saint JiHan's mastery of the sword technique made him a national treasure, boosting South Korea's position in the East Asian League. However, a sudden twist shocked the gaming community when Saint JiHan announced his decision to change his name to Ryuhei and become a Japanese citizen by joining the Japanese NEO Self-Defense Force in July 2020. The departure of Sword King Saint JiHan marked a turning point, causing South Korea's league ranking to plummet rapidly. As doubts and concerns arose, the once high-ranking nation found itself in a downward spiral. Sung JiHan, witnessing the press conference, couldn't hide his annoyance. Turning off the TV, he reflected on the past and the merciless nature of the BattleNet. The upcoming Space League, a game turned war for survival, was approaching, and JiHan had foreseen the disastrous consequences. Standing before a family photo of Saint JiHan, JiHan's frustration manifested in a punch to the image. Determined to change the future, he contemplated the inexplicable love his late sister had for Saint JiHan and wondered if her fate would have been different. Now residing in the Sword King building, Sung JiHan assessed his own status. With dismal statistics, level 2, Bronze League affiliation, and no class, JiHan sighed. Despite his seemingly useless gift, the Wanderer's Eye, he recalled an incident where its true potential had surfaced. Surprised by his unexpected achievement points and an EX rank achievement point exchange voucher, JiHan accessed the achievement shop. As he explored the possibilities, JiHan realized the potential for game-changing upgrades that could reshape his destiny, silently setting his sights on the coveted Gold League. To reach the higher leagues, JiHan had to navigate through the Bronze and Silver Leagues. However, as a level 2 Bronze, the road ahead seemed daunting. Aware that the achievement shop would be crucial in the future, JiHan recognized the need to take it one step at a time. With 50,000 achievement points remaining, JiHan deliberated between purchasing available options or upgrading the shop for 40,000 points. Choosing the latter without hesitation, he believed immediate benefits were more crucial at this stage. Upon upgrading to LV.4, JiHan gained the emergency recovery item, capable of restoring broken items. JiHan headed to Saint JiHan's house, particularly the BattleNet connector room. After confirming his identity as a family member, JiHan utilized the emergency recovery on the brush. In the process, he discovered that it not only restored the item but also enhanced its rank. Eager to see its effects on his status, JiHan touched the brush to his stats window. In a fiery display, the brush modified his stats and introduced a new one, martial power. Excited about this unique stat, JiHan anticipated the BattleNet League tutorial about to commence. Arriving at the coliseum, JiHan checked his status, revealing the combination of strength, agility, and vitality into martial power. Satisfied, he acknowledged the significance of the newly acquired nameless divine arts, declaring martial power 5. As the tutorial began, a limited quest appeared, challenging JiHan to finish first for a reward of 1,000 achievement points. Armed with martial power, JiHan confidently entered the game. The tutorial initiated with the objective to survive until the end. However, an aggressive player swiftly attacked JiHan from behind, confident in his victory. To the opponent's surprise, JiHan effortlessly caught the sword with 2 fingers. In the world captivated by the frenzy of BattleNet, guilds emerged as crucial organizations, nurturing and managing players globally. As nations invested heavily in player development, Korea witnessed the rise of numerous big and small guilds, fostering strong players in the competitive league. In the Gangnam Bronze League, specifically Gangnam Area 1 tutorial, a new bronze player named Do Hyokyu eagerly anticipated the day's challenges. Feeling the pressure of Gangnam's competitive environment, he relied on his luck and membership in the esteemed Twin Star Guild, directly managed by the Twin Star Group. Checking his stats, Do Hyokyu possessed a valuable gift, Agile A, rank A, enhancing his agility by 25 and bypassing the league's stat cap. Grateful for this life-changing gift, he set his sights on securing a spot among the top 50 players in the Bronze League. As the fight loomed, Do Hyokyu surveyed the formidable opponents from other guilds, recognizing the marks of major corporations. Sweating nervously, he steeled himself for the challenging battles ahead. However, amid the tension, a player unexpectedly appeared next to him, a disheveled man in sweatpants and a t-shirt, seemingly unarmed and oblivious to the imminent battle. Perceiving the situation, Do Hyokyu realized the man had mistakenly entered Gangnam 1. Seeing an opportunity, he decided to exploit the situation for a free kill point. With determination, Do Hyokyu rushed towards the unsuspecting man, drawing his sword. Yet, in a surprising turn of events, the man effortlessly caught the sword with his fingers, halting it midair. JiHan released his grip, causing Hyakyu to stumble backward. Agile, eh? Why come here with such a weak gift? JiHan expressed surprise, mocking Hyakyu for choosing a subpar gift in Gangnam. Ugh. Embarrassed, Hyakyu quickly got up, his face turning red. His plan to start off strong by securing a kill took an unexpected and embarrassing turn. Die. Whoosh. In an attempt for revenge, Hyakyu swung his sword, but JiHan effortlessly dodged with a bored expression. Though his opponent was faster, JiHan found the attack's trajectory too predictable. Unfazed, he decided it was time to conclude the encounter. Wish. Hyakyu clenched his teeth and targeted JiHan again. Yes. He believed he was about to succeed when. Tap. JiHan launched a counterattack, swiftly grabbing Hyakyu's sword. Though Hyakyu held the sword tightly, JiHan managed to snatch it at some point. Eyes widened in surprise, Hyakyu was defenseless when JiHan decisively sliced through his throat. Thanks for the loan. JiHan remarked as Hyakyu, critically damaged, shone and disappeared, an elimination in the game. JiHan watched him vanish, realizing the peculiar nature of this world within BattleNet where death was temporary. The same applied to the borrowed sword. JiHan couldn't fully claim ownership, perhaps due to the game context. I'll have to rely on weapons from others, he thought, prompting a system message. You've achieved the first kill in the tutorial. You've earned 100 achievement points. Ooh. Possibly due to the achievement shop, JiHan observed a detailed explanation of his achievement points. His attention shifted to the monsters in the coliseum. Annihilation of the horde. Subdue the 30-strong horde, the coliseum's most powerful monster group. Display the difference in strength. Reward, 500 achievement points. A quest window related to achievements appeared above the monster horde, presenting a new challenge for JiHan. JiHan couldn't hold back any longer. He charged right at the ugly Urks. What is this crazy human doing? The Urks shrieked. They weren't expecting a barehanded attack. They laughed, raised their axes, and hurled them at JiHan. Like he'd be fazed by that. He calmly caught every single axe midair. The Urk stared, confused. JiHan smirked. This is how you throw an axe, you oafs. He whipped the axes back with lightning speed. Instead of hitting JiHan, they spun through the air and embedded themselves right in the throats of the Urks who threw them. Panic replaced laughter. This human isn't right, the remaining Urks yelled. They scrambled to fight back, but it was too late. JiHan was already upon them. With each precise move, an Urk head tumbled to the ground. The others shrieked and stumbled back, blinded by fear. It was a brutal ballet, a wolf tearing through sheep. One by one, the mighty Urks, supposed champions of the Coliseum, fell before JiHan. He sliced another head clean off, but with that final blow, the axe handle snapped in half. The weapon's broken. Now's our chance, the remaining Urks roared, charging at JiHan. But JiHan just smiled. A swarm of Urks attacked JiHan simultaneously. One by one, JiHan fought them off, bringing them down to the ground. You guys should upgrade your weapons, JiHan remarked. A monster hurled a spear at JiHan, who effortlessly caught and broke it with his bare hands, leaving the monster astonished by JiHan's strength. Undeterred, JiHan continued to fight back, wielding axes until they too broke. As the monsters surrounded him, attacking simultaneously, JiHan harnessed his power, kicking the ground and creating a crashing effect that sent the monsters floating in the air. Seizing the opportunity, JiHan attacked all the airborne monsters with his sword. Then, with a swift motion, he threw the spear, penetrating all the monsters. Fearful and awestruck, the monsters murmured, "He is not human." JiHan finished off the last monster. You've cleared the quest, Annihilation of the horde. You've earned 500 achievement points. With the completion of the quest, JiHan received achievement points, prompting a level up. JiHan was surprised by the unexpected level up during the game. To think I'd level up in the middle of a game. Typically, leveling up occurred at the end of a game, but JiHan's low level and exceptional performance had brought about this unique situation. Opening his status window, JiHan observed. Martial power, 5. Magic power, 5. Unused stat points, 1. Investing the unused stat point, JiHan increased his martial power. Once martial power reaches 30, the path to obtaining Nameless Divine Arts will open. Nameless Divine Arts, an SSS rank martial art that had once placed him at the pinnacle of the world, was JiHan's current goal. Therefore, his immediate priority was to increase his martial power. Despite being a step closer to his objective, JiHan didn't display much excitement. It probably won't increase, but I'll have to allocate the points anyway. Martial power, a unique stat encompassing strength, vitality, and agility, likely wouldn't increase from a single stat point allocation. Not only that, although someone with 5 martial power and 5 strength should theoretically be equal in strength, in reality, that wasn't the case. Martial power was far more potent, making someone with it at least twice as strong with the same stat value. In essence, martial power was a remarkable stat that combined all 3 of its encompassed stats, and it was twice as effective. There's a downside, though. Raising martial power proved to be a formidable challenge. JiHan had initially believed it was a bug when it didn't increase despite investing points. Later, he discovered that point allocation merely extended its growth limit. The stat slowly increased through active participation in battles and undergoing intense personal training, making it an attribute that demanded significant effort. But then, why? JiHan rubbed his eyes and inspected his status window again. Why? The numbers seemed peculiar. Martial power, 6. Why did 5 now look like 6? After blinking several times, JiHan sensed a newfound strength within himself. Only then did reality hit him. Did my martial power just increase? Such an occurrence had never happened before. His initial flustered state was short-lived. Nice. You shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. JiHan smiled and scanned the area. An arrow whizzed in from the left, but JiHan effortlessly sidestepped it, turning his head to identify the source. He dodged it. Lucky move. 2 figures clad in armor adorned with turtle shell patterns closed in on him. Do they belong to the same guild? While individual survival was the goal, there were no rules against cooperation. Approaching him were a male warrior wielding a sword and shield and a female archer, a simple yet effective duo. The pair advanced confidently, convinced they had struck gold. Let's take him down quickly and climb the ranks. Agreed. We'll eliminate every opponent we can. Sounds like a plan. They were members of the Turtle Guild, one of South Korea's top 10. The prospect of being summoned together thrilled them, confident that their combination of close-range and long-range fighters would ensure their survival. The tutorial is about to end, so I shouldn't overexert myself. It'd be foolish to let such a novice slip through. To JiHan, they seemed like mice trapped in a cage. If you buy me dinner, I might let you have him. Hige, no thanks. They chuckled as they closed in, but little did they know, JiHan was the one truly amused. JiHan checked the leaderboard and noted his 4 kills so far. Barely puts me in first place. They're unsuspecting. This is perfect. With limited time, the opportunity was too good to pass up. JiHan hurled a hand axe, its speed surpassing even the Erk-slaughtering frenzy. The archer was taken aback by the velocity. She attempted to dodge, but it was a tad too late. The archer tried to evade the sword, but... Stab! Her head was pierced nonetheless, and she swiftly faded away. How could you do that to a woman? The man's voice trembled upon witnessing the archer's demise. JiHan regarded him with a crazed expression. Such a mindset wouldn't pass the tutorial. JiHan swiftly closed the distance. Eek! The man cowered behind his shield. JiHan circled to the man's back, his sword aiming for the neck. Ugh! The armor crumpled, and the man wavered. But the sword couldn't withstand the impact and snapped. As expected, I can block it. The Turtle Guild's B-rank full-plate armor proved its reliability. The man, trusting his armor, intended to endure when. Asterisk clang. Clang. Asterisk. Blows rained down on the back of his neck. Ugh. Right. This guy has a ton of weapons. From a club to a hand axe, Jihan wielded a variety of weapons, employing them all. But he's targeting the same spot repeatedly. Despite the man's attempts to turn and block, Jihan somehow maneuvered behind him, repeatedly striking the same vulnerable area. The enemy adeptly handled an array of weapons. The man broke into a nervous sweat as his armor crumpled with each blow. Finally, cough. Crack. It took 4 broken weapons, but a gap in the armor emerged, and a fractured sword thrust through it. Stab. The man's consciousness dimmed as his neck was pierced. The system's voice resonated in his ear. There are 50 survivors left. The tutorial has ended. In the realm of Twin Star Guild, I.M. Gaeong was a shining prospect, revered for her rare S-rank gift. She exceeded all expectations, securing second place on the leaderboard with an impressive tally of 4 kills. But amidst the acclaim, whispers emerged about an enigmatic figure, Sung JiHan. Claiming the top spot with no guild affiliation left many puzzled. Who is Sung JiHan? Does anyone know him? The executives of Turtle Guilds questioned, perplexed by the unexpected outcome. Meanwhile, JiHan, upon returning to the real world, was greeted with messages of triumph for his tutorial victory. His experience soared by 50%, and his level increased by 3, a feat that would have taken him a month elsewhere. With newfound power at his fingertips, JiHan strategically allocated his stat points, focusing on bolstering his martial power. And with each investment, his strength grew. Earning the coveted title of the one who conquered the tutorial bronze, JiHan's potential seemed boundless. Though his journey had just begun, he was armed with the tools to thrive in the Bronze League and beyond. With determination in his heart, JiHan set his sights on reaching level 25, eager to pave the way for future adventurers. As JiHan approached level 25, he realized he wouldn't need to play every day. Instead, he could await the promotion match to the Silver League. Yet, as he pondered his next move, the class section beckoned, shimmering with opportunity. Upon reaching level 5, he was presented with the chance to select a basic class: warrior, archer, mage, or support. Reflecting on his past as a martial saint, JiHan contemplated choosing the warrior class, a familiar path that promised growth in martial power and martial arts prowess. However, the achievement shop offered an intriguing alternative: an extra class for 10,000 achievement points, unlocking new possibilities. Firm in his decision, JiHan's hand hovered over the support class, despite the system's warning against it. Ignoring the allure of immediate strength from the warrior class, he saw potential in the support-exclusive stat, divine power. Aware of the challenges in raising divine power, JiHan recognized the need for strategic planning. Unlike other stats that could be improved through training, divine power required a different approach. He recalled the Saintess's guidance, realizing that unused stat points weren't the key to unlocking its potential. With determination, JiHan embarked on his journey, armed not just with strength but with foresight, knowing that true power lay not in the obvious choice, but in the careful cultivation of unique abilities. As Ji-young found herself summoned into the game, screams pierced the air, signaling the start of the dreaded zombie defense mission on the bronze-exclusive map, 10 Towers. Surveying her surroundings atop a narrow tower, Ji-young braced herself for the onslaught. The mission was clear: protect the crystal and survive the relentless zombie assault until only 5 towers remained standing. With a sigh, Ji-young awaited the arrival of her fellow defenders. First came an archer, followed by a mage wielding impressive gear. As she assessed their potential, Ji-young couldn't help but feel apprehensive about the impending battle. A support was crucial for their success, and their final teammate would determine their fate. Then, a light descended, revealing their last member, a man in a black tracksuit, wielding a long metal pole. It was JiHan, the tutorial's victor, and his unexpected appearance left Ji-young astonished. However, the mage's reaction was far from welcoming. Disdain dripped from his words as he ridiculed Jihan's equipment and questioned his capabilities. Despite the archer's attempts to mediate, the mage's arrogance persisted, escalating into a demand for Jihan's apology. But Jihan's response was unexpected. Without hesitation, he confronted the mage, refusing to back down. In a swift motion, Jihan dispatched the mage, sending him hurtling through the air to meet a grisly fate at the hands of the zombies below. As the chaos unfolded, Jiang realized the true identity of the mage. Kim Gyu-hyuk, notorious for his disruptive behavior and penchant for targeting weaker players. With Gyu-hyuk's demise, Jihan's decisive action left an indelible mark on their team, signaling a shift in the dynamics of the battle to come. Gyu-hyuk came back after using one of his chances to return to the game. "You're crazy," he shouted, but Jihan surprised him by saying, "You're still here?" "What?" He was quiet, not expecting that response. Jihan grabbed Gyu-hyuk again and mentioned the revival in bronze. "Here we go again," Jihan said before tossing Gyu-hyuk off the tower once more. Gyu-hyuk tried to defend himself when he came back, thinking Jihan was just a support. He felt he shouldn't be matched with beginners who had just finished the tutorial. "I'll get him," he thought angrily. He tried to attack Jihan, but Jihan easily broke through his defense. Jihan warned Gyu-hyuk that he only had one chance left if he died again. Scared of what would happen if he finished last, Gyu-hyuk agreed to play properly for now, but he planned to get back at Jihan later. "I'm level 15, and I'm a fire mage, good for this map. I'll help you out." "Oh, you've made the right choice." The archer, who had been watching nervously, was happy. To think that the troublemaker Kim Gyu-hyuk would give in like that. Someone who joined the silver promotion match is only level 15? Jae-young couldn't believe Gyu-hyuk's level, but since he surrendered first, she thought the game would go smoothly. "Is that all?" Jihan, who had been silent, reached for Gyu-hyuk's collar. "Huh? I don't need to say sorry? People will think I started the fight if you put it like that. Wait. Next time, mind your manners." Swoosh. Gyu-hyuk was thrown off the tower, screaming all the way down. The archer reached out, but it was too late. The mage, Kim Gyu-hyuk, has died. Kim Gyu-hyuk has been eliminated from this game. The defense map needed a team of 4, and now they were missing a mage. A chilling silence filled the tower. The problem has been dealt with. Jihan didn't seem bothered as he looked at his quest window. Limited quest. Finish first place in 10 towers. Reward, 1,000 achievement points. The quest, like during the tutorial, was to finish first, with the same reward. I expected this, but Jihan noticed another quest glowing beneath the limited one. This was new, not in the tutorial. Chain quest, Zombie Source. Defeat 1,000 zombies on your own. Reward, 3,000 achievement points. Once completed, you'll unlock Zombie Source 2. Beat 1,000 zombies alone? Jihan wrinkled his brow. It sounded impossible. Zombies weren't a big threat to him, but the game will be over before I can finish. The game would end when 5 of the 10 towers fell, so he could only succeed if the others could hold on. I'll focus on the main quest for now. Jihan peered down from the tower. Go. A horde of zombies tried to climb up, but they kept slipping on the steep tower. They trampled over their fallen allies to climb higher. The archer, standing beside Jihan, sighed. If only we had a mage. A single fireball could have wiped out the mass of zombies. The archer glanced at Jihan with resentment. If you were so annoyed with the troublemaker, you should have just ignored him. What now? Without the mage, they'll swarm up like crazy. Jae-young had been critical of Jihan ever since he got rid of the mage. Regardless of right or wrong, Jae-young believed they should have moved on. To act so recklessly. The bigger issue was his class's support. Someone who seemed suited for the warrior class chose to be a support Why would he make such a choice? Is he seeking attention? She couldn't understand. Her only conclusion was that he was irrational, so she made up her mind. I'll be at the front. Support, stay back. She was the warrior, so standing in the front was her job. Even though she didn't like the man's behavior, she still had to do her duty. But JiHan waved his hand calmly. It's fine. Just protect the archer. Jiayang looked at JiHan in disbelief. Was he planning to fight alone? But then, the zombies started climbing over the top of the tower, undeterred. Thanks to the archers and mages in the other towers, the zombies couldn't make it halfway up. They're finally here. JiHan smiled at the zombies. The metal pole swiftly crushed a zombie's head. Jiayang's eyes widened in surprise. His speed was amazing. Even with her trained eyes, she couldn't follow the metal pole's movements. The archer's reaction was the same. He stood there with his mouth hanging open. Is this real? Ms. Warrior, is he really a support? I don't know anymore. Sung JiHan's metal pole moved like a circus performer, and it targeted only the zombies' heads, their weak spot. The archer finally understood why JiHan looked so confident. The tower was small, and the zombies could only come from one direction, so JiHan could handle it alone. But that metal pole alone shouldn't be enough for a blood zombie. You're right. Jiayang agreed with the archer. A blood zombie was tougher than regular ones. Its head was covered by a bloody substance that resisted physical attacks, needing special strength to defeat. Of course, in the Bronze League, that strength was magic. If only the mage had survived, we might have one. Seeing JiHan fight so well made the archer even more resentful. 5 zombies, stronger and with red skin, rushed toward JiHan. As the archer thought, it's over now. Huh?
Bang!
The metal pole moved and exploded all 5 blood zombies' heads at once. White flames engulfed them, turning their bodies to ash. Jiayang couldn't believe it. That white energy was divine power? Every time JiHan defeated a zombie, he felt stronger, like he was getting closer to another world's faith. His divine power grew with each strike, especially against the tough blood zombies. The relic JiHan carried seemed happy to be with him, like it knew JiHan was meant to have it. As JiHan got stronger, he learned how to use his divine power better. It was different from Ki, but just as important. With some help, JiHan learned to channel his divine power through his weapon. He got so good that he could even make holy fire appear when he crushed a blood zombie's head. After defeating many zombies, JiHan felt like he truly understood the faith from another world. His divine power got stronger, and the relic he had became even more useful. Even though the relic's rank went down, JiHan knew it was still valuable. He decided to save his divine power but kept fighting with all his might, sometimes using his divine power to make his weapon even stronger. Others watching JiHan were amazed at how precise and powerful he was. They saw him as a skilled warrior, especially Jiayang, who was impressed by his control and use of divine power. As JiHan fought on, the game changed. They weren't last anymore, and JiHan's strength was a big reason why. Meanwhile, the saintess remembered how cheap relics used to be. She explained how people thought there was a secret to them, but the prices dropped when no secret was found. JiHan learned about relics from other worlds and how they could make his divine power stronger. He found out his sister used to collect them too, and he even discovered some in her storage. Among the relics, JiHan found a metal pole from another world. It was earrank and had been used by clergy members to show their faith. Then, JiHan recognized Jiayang, who once wielded the plum blossom sword. He remembered her from when he first started getting stronger with the nameless divine arts. But JiHan knew Jiayang's story didn't end well. She lost to Sword King Yoon Seijin, who was now Japan's top player. JiHan was determined to change her fate. With the game coming to an end, JiHan decided to push harder. He leaped into action, using all his divine power to defeat the zombies and turn them to ashes with holy fire. In the end, the zombie horde was no match for JiHan's strength and determination. First place. The archer couldn't believe it. They were on top of the scoreboard, all thanks to a support player. JiHan's incredible 550 kills had led them to victory. Ji-young watched in shock. Was this the same person she trained with? How could a newcomer dominate the game like this? Even a skilled silver player would struggle to match JiHan's performance. The Battle.net game's imbalance was well known, but this exceeded anything Ji-young had seen. Feeling lost, she wondered if she should quit. As the game ended and the towers collapsed, JiHan found himself back at the tower's top, covered in zombie blood but unharmed. The archer bid him farewell, thrilled with their unexpected win. Approaching JiHan, Ji-young set aside her doubts. She was determined to recruit him for the Twin Star Guild. Ji-young's request for his number caught Sung JiHan off guard. He couldn't remember his Korean number, only the one from the United States. But he didn't see the point in exchanging numbers since he wasn't interested in joining any guilds. Instead, he looked forward to his rewards. In his previous life, his experience gain slowed after reaching 7th in the rankings. Now, as a low-level player, leveling up was exciting. He eagerly read the system messages announcing his achievements and rewards for finishing first in the defense game. The rewards from the game weren't as big as the tutorial, but Sung JiHan still felt satisfied. He figured if he kept winning, he could hit level 25 and join a promotion match in a month. But he knew keeping up the winning streak would be tough, especially with Battle.net matching players by level. Still, Sung JiHan was confident in his skills. He aimed for first place every time, hoping for extra points. He thought about buying a relic with his game points, but found the prices too high. Deciding to explore the house, he adjusted his stats and headed towards his sister's room. But his plans were interrupted by the sound of the door opening. In came a cheerful girl in a school uniform, surprising Sung JiHan. She noticed the damaged family photo and jokingly asked why he'd made it worse, then broke it completely. Sung JiHan could only watch in shock as she shattered the image of her father, Yoon's age. JiHan greeted his niece, Seia, warmly but felt a bit sad. Even though she was 18 and 9 years younger, they were very close, almost like siblings. He remembered when his parents died, and his sister met Seia, who promised to take care of them. They had a simple wedding, and Seia moved in. JiHan helped raise Seia since she was a baby, but in the past, he couldn't protect her from something bad. Feeling determined, JiHan silently vowed not to let it happen again. Seia shared with JiHan about getting sent home from camp after a problem at the press conference. Her dad had called her before, saying he's in love and leaving everything to her. JiHan clenched his fists, feeling upset about her dad's actions and the situation they were left in. Seia had sold most of his things before going to Japan, leaving only a little for Seia, and their family's reputation had been hurt too. Determined to support Seia, JiHan promised himself to be someone she could trust. In the Twin Star Guild HR Department's 3rd Division Executive Manager's room, Lee Ha-yeon, the executive manager, laughed at footage Ji-young brought. Despite Ji-young's poker-faced demeanor, Ha-yeon teased her. After discussing a potential recruit, Ha-yeon pointed out a video on Battle.net fortune teller, Mr. Sung's channel, catching Ji-young's attention. Ji-young wondered why Ha-yeon watched such videos, considering her wealthy background. Lee Ha-yeon mentioned that the guy in the video is accurate and would be famous if he streamed consistently. Ji-young thought he resembled JiHan. Ji-young noticed the title of a live broadcast, surprising Ha-yeon. It was about the Sword King's brother-in-law and daughter discussing a recent incident. JiHan set up a camera on BattleTube, a video streaming platform on Battle.net. Seia, dressed in black, looked at JiHan in disbelief as people in the chat criticized him. JiHan suddenly kicked and destroyed a statue of the Sword King, shocking everyone. Some fans were angry, but others supported JiHan. JiHan obtained an achievement and leveled up, looking happy. 30,000 folks were watching JiHan's show. He hit 2 big goals, getting lots of viewers and beating hate. That earned him 3,000 points, but he also got 10,000 dislikes. Even so, he still earned another 1,000 points. JiHan spotted trouble with the Sword King fan club. They used to like Saint JiHan but turned on his daughter, Seia. JiHan knew he had to step in. He shared a recording of the Sword King and his daughter's phone call. In the recording, Sword King Seia told Seia he was leaving for love, which shocked everyone. Seia sounded really sad. She couldn't believe her dad was leaving her. People got angry at the Sword King. Some didn't believe the recording, but lots did. Seia's feelings touched many hearts. She introduced herself to the public and decided to give away the Sword Palace. She couldn't accept an inheritance from someone who left her nation and family. So, she donated the palace to the nation. People were surprised by her choice. It surprised everyone. The palace was super valuable. People argued about it in the chat. JiHan focused on protecting Seia. Before the live show, JiHan and Seia talked at home about giving away their building to the nation. Seia was surprised and unsure about it. She asked, "Why should we donate?" JiHan had his reasons. He explained, in the past, people attacked Seia because her dad left the country. People were really mad, and the country took away all of Saint JiHan's money. Then Seia became homeless and couldn't handle the harassment from the Sword King fan club. It got so bad she ended her own life. Knowing the building would be taken away eventually, JiHan wanted to make sure Seia stayed safe, and to make people like them. Finally, Seia agreed to give all their money to the nation because she trusted her uncle, JiHan. During the live show, members of the Sword King fan club complained about Seiya's decision to donate to the nation. They accused JiHan of influencing her. JiHan stood up to the Sword King, warning him to take care of himself in Japan. The chat erupted in surprise and support for JiHan's bold declaration. After the show, Seia worried about JiHan because of the live stream and everything that happened. Meanwhile, in Japan, the Sword King watched the live stream made by his daughter, but he seemed indifferent to her. Instead, he listened to his girlfriend, who used her magic power to seduce him. While JiHan and his nephew were chatting, there was a knock on the door. JiHan knew who it was and happily opened it. It was Mr. Park Yoon-sik from the government, here to talk about something important. Mr. Park greeted JiHan and his nephew, and they all said hi to each other. They talked about something called the Sword King fortune, which the government wanted to take over. But they couldn't do that, so they were having a private chat about it. Since the government couldn't own the Sword King return, they thought it would be a good idea for JiHan and his nephew to take care of it until the owner came back. JiHan agreed, as long as they promised to give it back when the owner returned. The government also wanted JiHan and his nephew to keep living in the Sword Palace, which sounded good to everyone. JiHan understood and said yes. But before they signed any papers, he had a favor to ask. In another scene, a streamer named Golden Light was live-streaming from the Coliseum. He was wearing shiny gold armor and had a golden sword. People in the chat were cheering for him and donating money. Other players were watching him, feeling strange. Golden Light was famous for being handsome and energetic, but also for being mean to weaker players. Even though he was really good, he liked to pick on people who weren't as good as him. That's why other players were mad at him. He wanted to start a fight with someone and looked around the area. That's when he saw JiHan, who looked like a nerd holding kitchen stuff. He immediately went to talk to JiHan because of something JiHan had done on a live stream the day before. While JiHan was busy with his job, he glanced at the window screen and started his own live stream. The famous Golden Light streamer got jealous because people were paying more attention to JiHan's stream than his own. Then, Some viewers sent a message to the Golden Light Streamer, offering him money to kill JiHan. It started at $2,000, but as more people got involved, the reward went up to $40,000. The Golden Light Streamer was upset because he wanted it to reach $50,000 before starting the game. But then, one fan of the Sword King said they'd add an extra $10,000 if he killed JiHan quickly. So, the Golden Light Streamer decided to go for it. He used his powers and sword to try to kill JiHan, charging at him and swinging his sword. But JiHan defended himself with a cooking item, even though it was just a low-ranked one. Then, JiHan fought back, surprising the viewers. They wondered if he was using some kind of divine power or support skills. JiHan managed to get the first kill, earning himself 100 points. His body started glowing with divine power, and in his right hand, he held a kitchen knife. Even though the Golden Light Streamer respawned using the Cross of Resurrection item, he failed again to take down JiHan. This time, he was determined not to let his guard down. But before he could do anything, JiHan appeared behind him and swiftly eliminated him from the game with another slash. JiHan remembered seeing the resurrection item before but thought it was flawed, as it could only be used once and not in national leagues. He felt annoyed seeing the spectators were elves this time, knowing their role in humanity's downfall in his previous life. He decided to deal with them later, and focused on leveling up by hunting down enemies. However, everyone started running away from JiHan, fearing his power even though he was only using low-ranked items. Perplexed, JiHan continued to fight to understand the potential of his items, like the kitchen knife and hammer. Suddenly, a quest window appeared, instructing him to subjugate goblins and become the goblin champion. JiHan engaged in battle with the goblins, using his hammer to bash their heads and his knife to finish them off. The goblins begged for help as JiHan's combo of hammer blows and knife strikes proved deadly. A message window popped up, suggesting that using both items together would be more efficient, with a specific order for their use since they were set items. Intrigued, JiHan continued his quest, eager to discover the full capabilities of his weapons. After JiHan figured out his item's secret by beating up some goblins, a big goblin boss appeared. JiHan only needed one hit to knock it down hard, and then finished it off by cutting its heart. He got 500 points and felt stronger. Deciding to go after other players next, JiHan saw them fighting far away. He decided to take them all down, glowing with divine power. In the chat, viewers cheered for JiHan and said he was scary. Meanwhile, the Golden Streamer was upset in his room, talking about how strong JiHan was. He said JiHan's stats were much better than usual bronze players. JiHan started hunting players and quickly took out one. Then, in an amazing move, he killed 4 players with one swift knife attack, surprising everyone. He got double kills. Then JiHan got even faster and took out 3, 4, and even 5 players in one go. Other players got scared and stopped fighting each other to team up against JiHan. They thought he was cheating because he was so strong. Some players shot arrows at JiHan, but he dodged them all and took out 2 more players. He got 10 kills, shocking everyone. JiHan got even stronger with divine power from his items, even though they got a bit weaker. He won 5,000 points and 10 kills, but he knew he needed one big win to get even more power. Suddenly, an epic quest appeared: find the Shadow Queen among the elves and make her mad. JiHan was surprised to see such a tough quest in the Bronze League, but he wanted to do it for the big reward of 50,000 points and the constellation Shadow Queen. This could lead to even more powers he couldn't normally get. JiHan was determined to find the Shadow Queen, even though it would be hard among the elves. He knew she was there, waiting for him.